Hello everyone, and welcome to another live stream. Hi there Overdog, hi there Void. What's with you and these godful times? Just when I'm available, you know? Those are just the times when I'm available. Which just happens to be right now. Hi there everyone, hi, welcome. Now, now. Today we'll be working on the video. I know, a shock. You can hear Jesse working on the background. For some reason I'm having really hard time focusing on this video. I keep getting distracted with everything I can. Before the stream, I spent like a solid half an hour just modeling things in SolidWorks for Jesse to print. And instead of working on the video, so this time we're gonna do it. We're gonna work on the video, it's gonna be great. And in order to do that, we first should... Oh, that's a good question. We can bring this floor higher and we need to replace it with something different, a different kind of floor. So, I have a bunch of materials. I do have a bunch of materials. Hold on. There we go. And so we need to just pick one. So one's padded cloth. Metallic ones are always the best. Unless my file explorer will stop responding. This is the alien one, right? That's the classic I often use. Panel modules, a different kind of different kind of panels. I'm pretty certain they only... Oh no, wait, there's a difference. There are wires between them, which will actually fit in with the theme quite nicely. Yeah, let's do it. There we go. So first, base color. Hi, the Tefta. How you doing? Thematic. That's too fancy of a word for me. Metallic in. There we go. I'm well. How are you? I'm also doing really well. I am having a lot of fun. Actually doing stuff, as you can hear from Jesse, hard at work printing in the background. It feels good because I've had this habit of saying that I want to do things practically, and I'm glad that I'm finally actually... I'm no longer all talk no game. That makes me feel good. And then diffuse, but why is diffuse only for roughness? That's not quite what we want, is it? I feel like it will look odd if we plug in the color of the fuse into roughness, which is just a value. Yeah, I'm doing it wrong. But yeah, there we go. We have our base material, which will be the plate onto which we will put everything. Now, right here we have the plane, which I used for transitioning between the two scenes, and we will not have it be visible for now. But what we do care about is the keyframes. That's because it's getting brighter and brighter. So right here, we want this to be roughly 0.3, 0.1, I imagine, and then something a bit brighter, like this. There we go. And then it goes back to dark, and then right here we're gonna have all of the wires. Oh yeah, because we're doing gates again. We're doing gates again because I'm trying to explain machine code. For some reason I'm going over absolutely all of the types of programming, not even programming language. Other than the funny blues, what can you use methylamine for? Methylamine? I have no clue, I'm not a chemist. I just play one on TV. What kind of printer do you have? Bamboo Lab. I don't remember which one. The middle one. The one that's not the smallest one, but not the biggest one either. That one. I never remember the name. Machine code. There we go. Render animation. Wait a second. No, don't render animation. Big mistake. This is supposed to be MPEG 4 with high quality... I just realized that the reason why my images look different than The video is because I'm recording it on color. Who cares? First of all, not recording, rendering, but still, who cares? P1. Hold on, let me check. Bamboo. How do you spell it? Lab P1. No. No, this is... I consider this to be the big one. Hold on, Bamboo Lab. A1, I think. I think it might have been A1. Yes, I have A1. This is the one. That's Jesse. A1, P1, X1. Yeah, as I said, it's not the smallest and not the big one. I consider P1 to be the big one, but then there is also A1 Mini, and that's the one I remember as the small one. Yeah, like that's a small printer. I just have A1, the not small printer. I should describe it like that from now on, just the not small printer. I'm not much into 3D printing. X1C is really good. The problem is that considering how you listed it at the end, it's very expensive. Yeah, I was about to say that considering how you listed it at the end, I'd imagine it's quite expensive. Ah, that looks quite mighty. Maybe one day. First thing I thought they wouldn't. Ooh, that's 2 months of Patreon. And that's assuming that I wouldn't pay my rent. Okay, well, that's quite pricey. That's like 2 months of rent for me. Quite a lot. That looks good. Maybe one day. A man can dream, you know? A man can dream. Oh, that's not what I meant. Both of them. Actually, we don't need the right one. We're not doing oxidation for now. In this case, I can leave it for now. We don't actually care. Because this will be just the... We'll just need to use the geometry nodes from the last video. So I guess we're playing another game of the waiting simulator. Except this time, yeah, the cables look a bit weird with nothing to reflect off of them. They look a bit flat, which, I mean, in all honest, they are flat, but the displacement isn't actually rendering. Did YouTube in my comment? Which one? The only one I see is the methylamine one, methylamine. I think it's pronounced. Damn it, I'm bad at chemistry. If there's been any other ones, then yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I keep getting distracted easily. I am working on a really fun video, the most fun video I've ever made. But the problem is that and so that video that I'm working on is eating away the time from this one, which is bad because it's already been, what, 5 days since the last video? And that's already a lot of time. I don't have much finished for this one. Let me see. It's been 5 days! Well, I get a bit to work. I can do it in parallel and also animate the assembly chapter. So yeah, let's also start on the assembly chapter, because we need to work on more things in parallel for efficiency and speed and all the other stuff. So, actually let's not do this, that's pretty dumb. Might as well. Assembly. Okay. Once again, damn it, I keep having to run into the same boring problem. I need a floor. I'm gonna start at 100 this time. Third chapter, assembly. Now this video will be fairly boring at times, because a lot of it will be text. It will be me basically visualizing what the text means. So it will be fairly dull, let's say. Maybe not boring, because the message will still be there, but dull, like uninteresting. That's make it. Those are all synonyms. Doesn't matter. The point is, I need another floor texture. There's always you can't have a proper animation without a proper futuristic floor texture. padded panels. I've downloaded a bunch of new ones and I'm just... Oh, how nice it feels to just have lots and lots of textures that look good on their own. It's kind of hard to see with a monotone light, but if I add a cube with a white material and if I give it some serious glow... Nope, wrong one. There we go. You can see actually how easy it is to make a texture look good. Always amazed me in Blender, where you can just plug these in. And this already looks pretty solid, but then you also add the metallic for the reflection color. Like this. And then one final touch, roughness, and there. It already looks hyper realistic, despite being a purely flat plane of just 4 vertices. Textures and their witchcraft. Okay, now what? Well, now that's a good question. Well, now. Now we need to go into the script and see what's going on. Registers. Assembly you can use in a queue such as RAX, RBX, RCX. These registers are the magical boxes that hold their values, and you can put some values into them using the move operation. So what we will need is we'll need 3 boxes, with every single one of them having a visualized value, because that's where we'll be moving them, and so on and so forth. Okay. Or maybe I should put them on the left. I need to be a bit more careful with how I manage the space on the screen. There ain't much of it. RAX, RBX, RCX. Yeah, so we'll start with this. Then let's make a register in geometry nodes, because I'm a professional. Anyway, I know I keep talking about what I'm doing, and I know that what I'm doing right now, which is Blender, is extremely boring. But so if you're want to start some kind of conversation, get some kind of conversation going, ask me a question about physics, chemistry, computer science, meaning of life, I'm up for anything, you know. Feel free to, because most of the work I'll be doing will be really, really boring. Nah, I'm glad I started the stream for it then. Give me this. 8 of them should be proper. 0.7. They will never cross... Well, actually, no, they might. Actual registers are 64-bit, which means 2 to the 64th power. If I may. I don't have my powers of 2 memorized to that kind of... That's quite a large number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 plus 2, so it's 18, 20. Correct? 6 times 3 plus 2? Hi, the Stamp. How you doing? Which would be quite a large number. To be fair, we want... Is piss more areas urea or more aqueous salt? When I said questions, I didn't mean like that. What are you 3D printing? The doodad. Again, it's the same thing as always. It's still the doodad. It's still do-be the dot. Hold on me. Figures, yeah. Hold on, let me... Okay, there we go. It's still to do that. I've been so in such a engineering rush, I don't know what else to call it, where basically I'm having so much fun just building a doodad. It's hard for me to talk about it when I can't even describe it properly without spoiling the entire video, you know? It's the mystery. The mystery is a key part of the process. Negative 0.8. It should be fairly flat, but we don't want this to be too flat. That should be fine. Okay, then I 0.1, then E down by negative 0.15. There we go, and then the entire thing will be set material, white, store named attribute. Actually, that's all of them. We want it to be black. That's proper. And then the typical value to string. Why can't I grab this? There we go. And then center it in the middle of the doodad. That's not a doodad make it. I'm suffering from a doodad overdose. Now I want this to be a bit fun, so let's do something ever so slightly fun. Okay, first the boring bit, which is store named attribute brightness of like a 2, and then E color white, obviously. And now what I want to do is I want it to automatically rescale everything. So here's how we can do it. Math. Something I always struggle with in math, which is logarithms. For some reason, my brain just refuses to understand them. But the reason why logarithm is because logarithm base 10, that should give us the power of 10 subject to, right? So if we bring it up to something like 100, this should be a 3. Which means that if we take, well, roughly in the area of a 3. Which means now if we floor it, then it should be a 3. If we then take the floor and if we divide 1 by this and plug this as a size, then it gets smaller, which is a problem. Okay, so now here's our issue. Hi, the Wizard King Gaming, hi. Here's our issue, and the thing is that I will be wildly over-engineering it for no reason. Let me open up Desmos. So get ready for make it to over-engineer an animation that does not need it in any way. That's because we're going to have a logarithm of x. It assumes a 10, if I remember correctly. That's the default. Yeah, okay. So this is our curve. Now, we take the logarithm of x, and then we floor it, which, well, it's not that important. We're doing the curve anyway. And then we divide 1 by it. Like so. So what we want to achieve is we want the text to stay roughly consistent size-wise. We want the text to stay roughly consistent. What I could do is I could actually copy it higher and I could actually copy it lower. Bottom one could be 900, this one could be 90, and this one could be 9. So that we can... Oh yeah, right, I'm flooring it. Right, no, that checks out. That checks out. Seal? There we go. $990, and now I need to, instead of using divide, I need to somehow, well, no, I want to use divide to invert it and then do something with the divide in order to normalize them, so that the lower the number gets, the lower the derivative of it going lower gets. Which means that if we imagine it as a function, f of x, then we want to take that function and turn it into a g of x such that the derivative Wait, first of all, I'm doing this backwards. Should be y, shouldn't it? I always, for some reason, this always mistakes me. There we go. dy dx. The derivative of gx should be proportional to f of x, if I am not mistaken. I think. I think. I'm pretty certain. Okay, how could we achieve that? Guess who almost got run over today? Of course you did, of course. Why wouldn't you? I told you, stop cursing random deities. It's not good for you. At this point, you're bringing it on yourself. Like, it's one thing to be, you know... It's one thing to disrespect the gods, but it's another thing to disrespect the gods after they smite you twice. Once you get a pan, but twice? Not me, but imagine. Well... So the derivative has to get smaller the lower we go. That could be the integral of 1 divided by x, which would be a logarithm, wouldn't it? Wait, hold on. Wouldn't a log in this case work? No, it gets greater. Absolute. No. Negative. No. Oh yeah, log. Hold on. That doesn't work. Okay. Alright. Why does it disappear? Oh, because it skyrockets really quickly. I could also do it based on fields without mathematics, because to be fair, it's not that important. I can just lower down the exponent. There we go. Oh wait, I just lowered it down so much that... Okay, no, that checks out. That's not what you want. We want the exponent to be in between 0 and 1, to the point where the numbers get smaller every single time, but they stay roughly... I'm gonna need more of them. Oh wait, there's an easy way for me to do this, actually. I can just package all of this. Not make links on the make group. I can just package all of this. And then repeat node. Hi, the farmer main. Just, it would drive me insane. If I had a nickel for every single time someone joined in and without asking any questions assumed that my 3D printer is my PC, I would have 5 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's kind of weird that it happened 5 times in the span of just 2 live streams. I'm honestly quite amazed. And insulted at the same time, because that is disrespectful. You know what, it's kind of 3D printistic to assume that 3D printers are PCs. Alright, then this, and... Right, we delete both of them, and then transform, combine SYZ, we move it lower down on the y-axis. That's not quite what I intended. Right, because the geometry also has to go into the numbers. No, that tracks in fact, that does in fact track. Okay, which means you also need the input of geometry. Like this. British Democratic France and intervened on the side of the Democratic Spanish and took part the border and feels illegal because I mean it is. You're helping them. Too geopolitical. He's cooking something up. Oh, I am. I am in fact. I am cooking up something and a half. Now, why does only... Okay, why do the numbers only start at it? Oh, because... Right, no. Because right here we need... Ah, shucks. We needed to... Shit. If it's a 0 or a 1, it's not gonna show. Because, like, to what power would you bring a 1 in order to get it to be a 10? Right? No, 10 to what power is 1? That's what I meant. Which is 0, not what we want. Which means, right here, we need to somehow change it up so that... Ah, damn it. We need the shit. It's a crucial part of the process, you understand. I don't take a part of our ally, as if Trump would take Greenland, right? Could I theoretically synthesize salt by mixing lead and sodium hydroxide with hydrochloric acid? Sodium hydroxide with hydrochloric. Let me think. NaOH with HCl. What kind of salt would you make? Well, you'd get water and... Yeah. That's actually very trivial now I think about it. I don't see why not. But that's just a vibe. I have no clue, to be completely honest with you. How do I limit the 0 so that if it's a 0 then if it's a 0 or a 1 it becomes a 0 and a 1? Well, I could do it the dumb way, which I might do, but I don't want to do it the dumb way. There is a wrap, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wait, no. Mathematics wrap. Yeah, 4.5 hours, so this time well spent. 4 hours of sleep is fine. You'll manage, you'll be chill. Yeah, there we go. Listen to Farm Main, he knows chemistry. Don't listen to me, I'm not a chemist. Next question, may I? No. But hold on, question, why would you, it just hit me. Hydrochloric acid, like, okay, sodium hydroxide aside, hydrochloric acid is so much more valuable than table salt. Why would you? Usually sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid is preferred to water and table salt. Shits and giggles. Ah, you got me there. Alright, I can't flow with this. I'm gonna do it the most idiotic way possible. Where basically... Actually, no, wait, minimum. I'm an idiot. There is a minimum. No, wait, maximum. In this case, not minimum. Because you pick the minimum out of it and you pick the maximum out of it. There we go. Simple. Now what do we need? Well, now what I would like to do is math, power, and a 10. There we go. And we need them to get smaller as it goes on. Oh yeah, right, because you picked them out. If it's not one thing, it's another. Non-Iraqis when hyaluronic acid when thirsty. Dune reference. I feel like even in the desert, in Dune, it would still be easier to get water. Because if you already have hydrogen that's barely hanging on by a thread, there was plenty of oxygen there. Have you been in Iraqis? Have you noticed that they were fucking breathing out there? I don't mean to be that guy, but if you have a molecule with hydrogen that's this loosely connected and plenty of oxygen in the air, I don't actually even know what point I'm arguing. I'm just half my brain is allocated to thinking about how to make this proper, so I don't even know what point I'm arguing. Now, whatever, I agree. Okay, there we go. This is going to be 1 and then this right here. Wait, no. If it's a 1... There we go. Proper good. Now we want the exponent. Wait, this already actually works pretty well. Yeah, it only screws up way later on, but to be fair, by that point Blender just stops keeping track of the numbers. So we might as well just make the power a little bit greater. Just a little bit. Because if Blender is losing track of the numbers, then what's the point of us keeping track of it? There we go. We have our thing. Neat. Register. Make it. Did you try the medicine drug? Only stupid people would try the medicine drug. He needs mouse bites to live. I just want to know what other uses methylamine has. Funny blue drug. Is it blue? Hold on. I'm interested in color. A blue tint, right? Well, okay. I didn't think it was blue by default. Alright, there we go. 1.2. Negative 1.2. Why you listen to so much BBNO? It's because that's part of my playlist for building a gun. Duh. Duh. That's the Breaking Bad color, the blue. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. No, actually, blue is just fancy looks. BBNO, yes, Bibinos, you know, the famous artist Bibinos. As he loves to be called, Bibinos. No, he loves to be called Bibinos. That's a famous fact. Everyone knows. Okay. In assembly, you can access them using keywords such as RAX, RBX, or CX. And as such, we start right here, 150, and we're gonna just move them into frame. There we go. Wow, I'm glad I finished rendering the first thing, so now I can render the second one as well. That's great. Infant no income. My favorite artist. Sorry, listen to a band. I couldn't possibly split my attention between artists. Okay. Wait, that's assembly. You know what? I actually might need to open up two of them. There we go. Second one being for machine code. First, let's the machine code. So with machine code, well, as a quick refresher, and then this will be a flashback. So you can think of it this way: imagine we have 4 registers, 2 operations and gates between them. Pick which one we'd like to use. Oh goody, we need to do the doobie doobie dooba, the thing, the stuff, which is oh, where is it? Fortunately, I'm clever and I have actually prepared the logic gates in advance for the last video, but unfortunately that ain't gonna help me much because it's still gonna be really annoying. Alright. Give me this or give me death. Oh, whatever that imaginary British guy said. Now we will need 4 of them on one side, then multiplication and addition on the other. Which actually does mean that it would be easier for me to... Because I'm pretty certain these geometry nodes don't actually have implemented addition and multiplication. Yeah, they only have memory. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can just... We'll manage. We will need to modify it as well, which means that actually it might be easier for me to, instead of using a single geometry node for all of them, give them all their unique sections. Which means this left, right. Why am I aligning it manually? Jeez, I have access to coordinates. We don't live in the 1950s anymore. I don't know why I specifically picked 1950s, but we don't live there, so my point stands. 1.2. This always screws me over because we have 0, we have x, we have minus x, and then we want divided into 4, like this, which means the first one will be x, then it will be x minus, and then x minus a. 1, 2, 3, 3 equals minus x, which means that a minus a3 is equal, so 2x is equal to a3, which means that 3a, like a normal person maybe, 3a, so x is equal to 2/3, no, 3 seconds a, right. Which means that if our x is equal to 1.2, then we'll also have, then the next one will be x is equal to 3 seconds, so 2/3, which means this minus 1.2 times 3, no wait, times 2 divided by 3. That looks pretty correct. Yeah, I'm a professional. Didn't Pythagoras already use coordinates? Don't question me. Just go with it. Let's do. We could do 1.2, but we won't. We'll do 0.7, just to throw it off a bit. There we go. This will be the setup for our gates. Now, the pickle here being that our gates will need to be ever so slightly different. That's because... shucks. We'll need each gate to have 2 outputs. Damn it, this will require even more preparation. I hate preparation. Because I'd rather do it properly, which means I should actually delete this, and instead I should just add a cube with geometry nodes. That's it. That's all it should be. Should you upgrade your Patreon? No. No, you're not getting anything in return. It's very not neoliberal of you. What's the point? Which geometry nodes do I want? CPU 7. Right. Yes. No, I'm an idiot. Fudge! No, wait. Or am I? Yes, I am. Or am I? Ah, never mind. This is the proper one. Hey, make it. If you give me philanthropy, I'll make the Patreon channels more active. They're already active. What do you mean? Oh yeah, I did everything manually, didn't I? What we need is we need multiplication, addition, and registers, which is these 3. Copy. Internal clipboard is empty. I'm sorry. Why is it empty? I have specifically copied them. I need to copy a cube with them. There we go. No, this is not the right cube. No, wait, this is the right cube. What am I talking about? Copy. Don't save. There we go. We have the gates. Neat. Now... Well, I am a communist, we will share everything in equal parts, but my part is a bit more equal. We need 4 memory cells, addition, multiplication, and then at the end, a result. Which means we not only need these cells, we also need a cells which will be used for picking between the cells. It's always something, isn't it? Okay. Which means these ones actually need to move. I'm glad I'm trying to select something with the thickness of a line. Stop picking the plane. Okay, this is just mult. This is just add. And multiplication and addition will have to be, well, probably there actually. Yeah, no, that's good, because then this one will have to be like a 3, possibly 3.2, and height 0. And then right in here we need 1, 2, 3 picking nodes. Why is it name so green? Yeah, the Patreon bot is just... It just isn't. Hold on. Oh no, wait, your name all of a sudden isn't a patron at all. Did you upgrade to the red one? The contributor? Here, have a red one. I'm so glad that I added a bot for automation, which means I still need to manually go in and change all the roles. Isn't technology truly something? It will be a bit tight. It will be a bit tight. This will be also pick, and then this will be also pick, which means that these 3 picks, they will go a bit more to the left, like so. Then this pick will go negative 0.3 to the left, and there we have it. That's what she said. And now I just need to implement everything from scratch. Lovely. Where's my cube? Oh, there it is. Right. Okay, so... transform geometry, object info. And we'll just do a really quick one with... There we go. Now what we want is 4 of them. So 2, 3, 4, and then index switch for all the logic and all the objects. For now, just the objects. Actually, no, then we don't want to do it 4 times. We just want a repeat node. I am being so professional here. Using repeat nodes and all, that's just proper good. Does it start at 1? Oh no, it doesn't. No, I'm an idiot. There we go. This 2, this 3. Perfect. Perfect. Now onto the other order. So these are the first 4 that will begin our circuit, whatever you want to call it. Then what we need is addition, multiplication, and then 4 picking nodes. Addition, multiplication will be easy, because that will be just it. Sweet. Then what? Can you explain the proof for the Riemann hypothesis to me? I mean, solve it, of course. On it. So you see, we begin with the Riemann zeta. Then the connections. The connections I'll have to do manually. Well, the connections to the code, to the machine code. Right. Hold on, let's first see how the other animation is doing. Finished. Who would have expected? The background's looking really flat, but that's only because we don't have any light sources there. which is obviously the reason. Also, it just hit me that, damn it, that sucks actually. No, this sucks because the numbers one of them comes preloaded with a 90 and that looks really weird. Render again. Okay, bump mapping, what do you mean? In what context? Best solution to math is often, I get this x is equal to x. Sometimes my genius is just frightening. Oh, but that's simple. If you have x is equal to x, then what you do is you just divide both sides by x, and you get 1 is equal to 1. Which is how you always know that you're doing math. Hold on, this dot was bothering me. There we go. No depth on the background texture. You're really gonna make me stop. You're really gonna make me stop my rendering process just to show you that I am not in fact a complete buffoon. Does this look like no depth to you? I am honestly... See, even Jesse is laughing at you for even suggesting that. Don't ever backseat my animations, alright? Listen, my ego needs to be preserved and high at all times. It's part of my state of being. How dare you suggest something that would make my animation look nicer if I didn't think of it. Mods, kill him now. I keep thinking about it, but there's no other way for me to do it than to just, well, do it. That's gonna be annoying. Alrighty then, what we need is... I imagine the addition node will be... no. I should make a linear formula with 2 point, and what about substitution instead of just getting the slope? How would you make a linear formula with 2 point? Or 2 points, like a 2, like a number 2. Not 2 as in TO. I assume that's what you mean, I don't know if... Mods, take him to the stump of his favorite tree. No, like 2xy and 2xy. So what you're asking is, how do you get a function ax plus b based on a function based on 2 points with their own coordinates? So x0, y0 and x1, y1. Is that what you're asking? How do you get ax plus b? I gave you that one. Yeah, I know. That's just my way of saying I listen. I giving a sub one. Yeah, and then later on I found the post that you got your owns from. You were like listing them from a meme. I use substitution for the thing instead of just doing it. Class, I have no idea what you're saying. I have no idea what you're asking me. There we go. I keep putting off doing the one thing that needs to be done. No, whatever, give me this. Memory cell, let's change it to be a switch. So, the switch will have two number inputs and a single binary input, which is correct. That is what we want. The difference being that it would instead I mean, you need y is equal to ax plus b and have x4 y7. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that's precisely what I meant. You want to get ax plus b, but have 2 points lying on it with x0 and y0 and x1 and y1. And you want what you want to get is this. Because then that's pretty simple, you just solve it. What you actually want is you want these values right here. And then you can just do a x0 plus b is equal to y0, and then a x1 is plus b is equal to y1. And this is your solution, and this will give you back the... What's fun is that you can actually use it for any arbitrary polynomial, because you can just do a... I don't know how much I want to write of this, to be honest, but you can do a x, I don't know, 6 plus, actually, wait, it would be 0. 0 to the 4th, for example, plus bx0 to the 3rd, plus cx0 to the 2nd, plus dx0 plus e is equal to y0. And basically, as long as the amount of variables you have in your polynomial, so as long as the order of the polynomial is equal to the amount of points you have, you can approximate them using a polynomial, which is a trick I have used in the past. In case you want, my way of using it is that if you have some kind of rough area like this, then if you want to calculate this area with it having a rough side, what you can do is you can just describe this side as a function, and then taking the integral of that function will give you the area. And really often it's really easy to approximate these functions using a polynomial. So for example, if you have a, I don't know, if you have some kind of shape like this, then you can just place 3 points on it, or 4 points, and then you can do the ax to the 3rd plus bx 2nd plus cx plus d. Did I do it right? Yes, is equal to y. And then this can approximate the function. Maths, the more you know, am I right? But I'm not really a mathematician. Then, how do we do this? Right, we will need to completely change it up. Put the cubes more to the left. Cheese tasting is a lie made up by Big Pharma to sell more bad milk. Fuck, that's good. Oh, that's good. I'm adding it to the best comments. Alright. From orange to grey or white. Or actually, I could divide it in half. Make it. Could you explain what the dot product is for? I know what it's for, but I just like hearing people explain shit. I don't like explaining linear algebra live because it's really difficult. I like explaining it in videos because it's really easy to visualize, but on live streams it's way more tough. Right, so we won't have the inputs. Instead, we'll just have the... Oh, that's good. Here's what we can do. We can just have the original block. We can remove the saturation from the glow as well. We don't need it. And then the left side, or even better, we can move colors with this. Oh, that could work really well. Yes, that could work really well. One thing at a time, make it. So... Shucks. This is our thing that generates the cubes. We want two of them, one at the top, one at the bottom. So, like this one before the bottom. I'm sorry, why is this... Oh, why is it plugged into the second... Why are the two geometries there? Okay, then we'll have the cylinders going from the back to the middle at an angle. Like this, except without the minus. Except they're positioned differently because of course they are, and the y is 0.6, so it should be with a minus. There we go. And then the middle cylinder has to be longer. Like this. There we go. Then, hi there, Manga Steel. Hi, welcome. Then what we'll have is we'll actually have separate colors, because we'll have a color input going in here. That'll be the first color. And then going in here. That'll be the second color. And then we would actually like to divide them by the color that they're in. So this was the bottom one. You want to unplug the... These are so hard to operate. Just unplug everything. Alright, the bottom one goes in right here. The top one goes in right here. The bottom one goes in right here. Yep, the top one goes in right here. And then this one will be whatever the resulting color will be. Perfection. And so then just take these. Actually unplug everything again. This one goes to the bottom. This one goes to the top. And then this one goes for the middle. Perfect. Hi, the Manga Steel. Hi, welcome. Actually, Blitz from a billion streams ago. Been a while. Hi, Blitz then. Says my catchphrase. Oh, would be my catchphrase. Something about smoking weed. Let's be real. Also, what about Lemon? She says hi, everyone. Hi, Lemon. How you doing? Lemon would be the Stokes. I mean, she finally understood Stokes' theorem for what I hear. No, the simulation time or anything else. We cannot live in a simulation if time or anything else does not have a shortest distance, because you cannot compute infinity. Just to prove, class, that is just incorrect. That's because if we were to live in a simulation, then it's highly likely that the rules of the universe within the simulation would be different from those rules outside of the simulation. So for example, if we it is maybe possible to compute infinity outside the simulation, but since we live within the simulation, we wouldn't think that it's possible to compute infinity. It's the same line of thinking that's wrong with the sentences like "I think, therefore I am," when in reality it's "I think, therefore I think I am." The little pet peeve of mine. There we go. Then the top one will go in right here into these two. The bottom one will go right here into these two. Makes it at 2 o'clock. How are you so good at geonodes? Oh, this isn't even the good part. But I just use them a lot. Now Boolean math, even though it's not really needed. Oh yeah, it's not needed at all, because what we do is we just pick a switch, right, for color, and then top and bottom, and then this, like so. Alright, now let's set the bottom one to be red, the top one to be green, like this. And what we would like to do is have it so that these are numbers, however they are only selected when we pick the correct boolean. So, if we change this up, the color of the middle one changes, which is correct. Yes, that is what we want. However, oh, damn it. The entire thing itself will have to be different. All of this logic will have to be different. Because the squares are correct, yes. However, all of this with normalized brightness, that is also proper. But then we're gonna have two normalized brightnesses. Like so. One of them will go for the top cylinder. The other one will go for the bottom cylinder. And then the middle cylinder will be, once again, a switch that selects which brightness to follow. Like this. That's looking pretty good, I would say. Neat. Neat, great, fantastic. Now, we would like to change the color of the operations as well. Do you use Blender other than for demonstration videos? Would like to see some. No, I only use Blender for the videos. I don't really use it for anything else. I do not think, therefore I don't now I'm depressed. Thank you. Existential crisis. Being a big god. Why would the possibility that you're in a simulation give you an existential crisis? I don't understand. Do you think your existence is somehow worse because you're in a simulation? Why would that's your own choice. You choose to think that your existence would be worse if you're in a simulation, which is just simply not true. Simple solution. Stop caring. Stop caring about that specific aspect. For the operations, we'd like to do the same thing. Now, the problem is with colors for everything. The reason why colors are a problem is because, well, gosh dang it, we would like the colors of the everything around it to matter, which means that in this case, actually, oh yeah, right, in this case, oh, that's also have to be different, because the colors flowing in have to fudge sticks. Right. Which means that in this case, damn it. You could think you're better until you're convinced by your own delusions. We want the background to be white, but then we want the top cubes to be whatever the top color is, and the bottom cubes. Okay, yeah, so this actually has to be duplicated right here. This has to go in, this has to be deleted. And we want the top cubes to be equal to the top color. Unplugging things from a joint geometry node is a painful process that I do not enjoy. Like this. There we go. This could stay white, but it won't, because instead we're gonna do mix color and just mix both of them and plug it into the plus, and then also have it go out. Perfect. I've been doing this Blender for 3 years and I see Maker just do this. Well, as I mentioned, this isn't the most impressive thing. If you want to see some actual fun Blender, let me just bring out my last video CPU notes. It's such a mess. Okay, this is good stuff, because then we'll have this be separate. Oh no, we'll have all of them be separate actually. The connections between them will be the most annoying, I tell you. If it wasn't for the connections, it would be so much easier. Right here we do the exact same thing, so we change the color to be white, because colors will be a really big part of this animation. And the top cubes and bottom cubes have to be different, whilst the outer cubes... so much. Delete, plug it in. Okay, good. The multiplication symbol I would also like to be the emergent color, which means that in this case we take this back. Color number 1, color number 2, and a mix color. It will look a bit ugly, but the point of it is to be clear, not pretty. I mean, it's true that the US is way more permissive with guns than most of the world. Give me a second to hide the Black Thunder. I'm glad you joined in. Allow me to answer your question in the form of a graph. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Hold on, but this is per 100 people, so this is normalized. This should be a bit better, because obviously over there you just had big countries. So here this should be a bit clearer. Anyhow, I just really like that question because it let me answer it with a graph, and there's not many things that bring me more joy in this one than the graphs. So mixed color, right? Now what would the colors be in this case? Well, the bottom cubes will be the bottom ones, the top cubes will be the top ones, and the middle ones will be the mix. Which means... oh, gee whiz. These are the bottom ones. My organization is phenomenal. These are the middle ones, these are the top ones. Which means the bottom ones get the bottom color. So in this case, what we need to do, well, we don't need to, but I'm going to, is take this, divide it into 3 separate parts, and then top one get the top color. The bottom one get the bottom color, and the middle one will get the mix. And let's actually set it to be some genuine colors in order to answer, to see what it looks like. There we go. Can't wait to hear Make It express how much he loves Club Penguin. He likes to upgrade Club Penguin to be quick. What's even the point of that bit? I don't... Let's do yellow and let's do violetish. See how it works. So first the bottom one, we want to... Yeah. This is the top one. Yellow. Bottom one, violetish. Middle one will be white. Well, ugly white, because... Why not? Then... Oh yeah, these are disconnected. Top... Yes. Bottom... Perfect. There we go. Sweet. I don't think I need to change anything else, because I'm pretty certain this should just take care of it. Oh yeah, this is going higher and higher and lower, not lower, because it's actually buffer overflowing, which I'm not gonna fix. No one will care. I just don't know how much time to Blender. Still working on it though. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to achieve some skills. Just doing things, that's it. That's all you need. Let's set this to be green and blue. The colors will be quite ugly for now, but that's not the point. The point is that the colors will represent the flow of logic from 4 sources to 4 places, which means right here we plug them in like this. First logic, second logic, and then if we add and multiply some numbers, we can actually switch between them. Spot on. Perfect. Then it just keeps going, doesn't it? We will need actually, oh damn it, this is this is a gate that picks a single number, but right here we'll actually need different gates. We'll need a double-digit switches, so not 3 of them, only 2 of them, but they will need to be double-digit. I'm gonna guess make it did Blender for 5 to 7 years, just a hunch. I actually did Blender for, at this point, let me count. 2 years of this channel, 1 year of the previous one. It's not much, like 4 years? So I guess you were close, yeah, I think 4 years at this point. Because previously I was mostly just editing in Premiere, After Effects and such. Does a GPU have one shared group of chase with each separate core, like in CPU, right? What is chase? C-H-A-C-E. I haven't heard that word. Then what we need is a double-digit switch. 2 of them, in fact, where each one will go into its own input. Oh, cache! Oh, you meant cache. Okay. The way that the GPU works is that it has like shared memory. So basically you have the processing units, and then let's do 8 of them for now, and then they have like different layers of shared memory between them. Hold on. Open CL memory, I suppose that could... The Chronos groups has really nice graphs for these things, so... Hold on, let me find something. There we go. That's precisely what I meant. You have the host memory, then you have the global memory. Global, which is going to the computing unit. I've never gotten around to learning OpenCL, actually. I have used Vulkan, I have used OpenGL, I haven't used OpenCL. Never gotten around to it. I stopped coding right about the time when I was about to get into OpenCL. So then, what we want from it is we want to copy the switch, and we want to make a separate version of a switch with 2 of them this time. Right. How? Good question. Ah, damn it. Damn it. I'm trying to think of like I am spending a lot of time thinking about how to do it to not spend a lot of time on it.
Like a true engineer.
Like a true engineer. Spending 400 hours walking with balls just to make the balls, just not have to make the balls manually.
Also, if I sound like crap, it's probably because I was electrocuted.
That is your... Black Thunder, you always say that, alright?
How many people can?
At some point... Listen, you really gotta stop insulting gods, because at some point people will just stop believing you. Can you imagine if every single time you got electrocuted, you were actually going to like same thing, like a class or something, and the professor just sees you walking in late, once again with the excuse of getting electrocuted? And yeah, in this case, I do imagine you getting late, not like on another day, because I imagine your body just builds up resistance to it.
Was that an electricity joke?
It was.
Anyway, yeah, apparently, 2nd-degree burns hurt when you breathe, and they're on your chest and back, so...
Oh, you still have all the burns. Oh, that makes sense.
I was set on fire from the inside out.
I know, but you also said...
expect?
But you also said that you were out of the hospital. Do you really...
I'm wrapped in gauze. What do you think?
I don't know, I thought that you...
They're like, yeah,
I
we
don't
can't do
fucking
anything
know,
for
I've
you.
never
Also,
been
your card declined.
Oh no, don't... Oh shit, I forgot you live in America. Like...
That was just a joke, it's fine.
No, but I forgot you live... Because, like... Going out of the hospital with 2nd-degree burns still... Doesn't...
Fine.
Doesn't feel right.
I want to call it a day.
Fucking hell. I'm very
Anyway, I was just gonna say hi, and then I was gonna leave, because I still have work tomorrow, and I was at work today, because all I do is drive, so it's not really a big deal.
No, I mean it's not like you got fucking struck by lightning, right? It's just...
It's fine, don't worry about it. I just can't use my right arm that much.
I stopped worrying about it because you've been like talking about it in a very light way in chat, but now you got me back to worry about it.
You don't spend a lot of time around first responders, do you?
I don't spend a lot of time around people who get struck by lightning.
You can't say that anymore.
Well, you know what? Fair point. Fucking hell.
Anyway, I'm gonna go because I need sleep.
Yeah, go rest. Do something.
Right, I'll see you at some other point.
Alright, bye, have a good one. Oh. Anyhow, what was I talking about? Yeah, right, the double bit switches. And he still fucking drives. I'm fine. No, it's okay. I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna worry. I'm new to all of this. What's the overall goal here? I'm just working on videos. That's it. Well, sometimes I play games, sometimes I design either mechanical components or circuits, sometimes I do some programming, sometimes I just research physics or chemistry, but right now I'm just working on a video, as I do most of the time. That's the goal. So this time we will need to change this up a bit. We're gonna remove the cubes because they are a bit too much to fit. Oh, of course, I forgot to give it its own switch 001. There we go. So we're going to remove the cubes because we won't have enough space for them. And instead of the cubes, we'll have all of these cylinders facing forward. And then here's what we'll need. We will need here's the inputs we'll need. We'll need integer input. Integer, integer, integer. And they will all go into their own normalized nodes for the cylinders. So, right, there's going to be 4 of them, and there's going to be 4 cylinders. This is the middle one, which means we put it aside for now, and then 4. They will all be in the same direction, 0, 0. Now, once again, the quick maths, it was a 2/3, correct? Yeah, so 2/3 x is equal to a, which means that if we position them a bit higher up, like 0.16 and then negative 0.16. Have you heard of the NVIDIA drama? Which one? There is a couple nowadays, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. And each one to their own brightness node. And then we'll need, instead of 2 of them, we'll need 4. No, wait, no. 2? No, yeah, 4. That's true. We will need 4 of these. But we won't need joint geometry at the beginning because they will all have their own cylinders. Which means right here it's gonna be 16 times 2. Hi, welcome back, Black Thunder.
Yeah, I just forgot to mention something. So, when I was asking about Baby No Money, I saw this while scrolling, and I noticed that you listen to him a lot, and I don't think this is something you can share, but it's still pretty funny to me, and I thought you would find it funny too. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to bed for real now.
Okay, hold on, let me... He lied. That is not something I enjoyed. That is... Okay, so that... Wow, it's... Oh, that sent chills down my spine. Anyway, what... You lied to me, Black Thunder. You lied. Can we have a little more context? I'd rather not. Honestly, it's... hold on, I'm just... Right, was I doing... Oh yeah, we were doing this. Let's just move on. It was... Let that be the last time. But why was there so much... I mean, okay, the first... Okay. Anyhow. Right, was I doing this? Correct, spot on. So, right here we're gonna have another cylinder, this time sideways. I did the joint geometry in the wrong place. It should be in this spot, be exact, and then this cylinder will have to be rotated on the z-axis 90 and then moved backwards and then made shorter. Perfect. So this will be the cylinder that will be responsible, that will be the output, and then into it, electrocution! Not the third time. And then what? Well, then we just plug all of them in, don't we? The first second, third, and fourth. So right here, we do 0.16 minus 2/3 times 0.16. Perfect-ish. I don't know, we'll see. Feels like there'll be a gap in between them. No, it is perfect, in fact. Good. So then we would like them to extend all the way back, but the problem is that then they clip. Ah, I should have thought about it before I did that, actually. Okay, let's move them a bit back and then increase the depth slightly till we... Yeah, that seems good. Perfection. Is it possible to synthesize a compound from its stereoisomer? Once again, Lycan, I am not a chemist, however, that seems like an unnecessary workaround. Because I can see the reasoning, like you have all the elements there, you just need to arrange them. But I can tell you that the most difficult thing of synthesizing things is the method of synthesis, not the getting the resources in place. So first of all, it really sounds like you're trying to do meth. I'm just saying, it really sounds like you're trying to make meth. First thing I would just like to point out. But second of all, you need to like break it apart and rearrange it in a way so that it would no longer be its own stereoisomer. And that just seems like a hassle. I'm not giving it. I'm just saying, it sounds like you are. They say lightning has never hit the same place twice. They clearly have not heard of Black Thunder. Oh, that is a great saying, actually. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice unless it's Black Thunder. That's a saying I might use. Okay, great. We got this sorted out. Now, the switch. We will need a tree of switches for booleans and for everything else well. And then... Oh, we need to decode them. Right. Because we'll have two boolean inputs. And then they are... Hold on, I might need to... 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now... we'll have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and they are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So we need to... I'm thinking if I need to decode them and recode them again, or if there maybe is an easy way to do it. That's because... let's think about it for a second. We have 3 switches. Now, 0, that's 0, 0, we don't care. 1 is equal to 1, 0, we don't care. 2 is equal to we don't care, 1, 0. I can already see a certain useful pattern in this case, because there we go. And so as such, the middle one becomes a 1, which means the second integer just goes right here. Hold on. Second integer should go right here. And then the first integer should go into both of these. Yeah, that's... I knew there would be a more clever way to do it. Perfect. There we go. And then this should pick the colors appropriately. Now the only thing left for us to do is plug in the values, then plug in the colors, which will be a bit more of a hassle because we need to bring all of them over. Oh yeah, and also plug in the values right here. And just like that, we should have double input Well, actually, quad input, double-digit switch. There we go. Perfect. It looks like a mess, but that's fine. We can manage. And then with an application, you can tell them to go need particle accelerator. Make it next time someone asks you to explain linear algebra, show them the Reblax whiteboard. That's a good, yeah, you know what? That's a good strategy, actually. I might. Okay, perfect. Then the memory cell, what we need is color. No, wait, we need index switch. I'm an idiot. With color. Perfect. And then what we'll do is we'll just take color as an input here to use for... We need like a little box that's... Actually, no, we can just plug it in right there at the top. We can plug it into everything, in fact. Yeah, perfect. Well, right here, we'd rather have it desaturated a bit, so hue... I'm sorry, HSV, hue saturation value. Do I really not have that? Well, that's curious. Is there really no hue saturation value in... Huh. That's certainly quite something, although we could just go into shading and set it up as a rule so that if the e-color, oh, they don't all have the same types of white, don't they? Yeah, that's not worth it. Or whatever, it will just look a bit funky. And so as such, we can go up now. Oh wait, we want the input to be passed into the output for the sake of convenience. Like this. And then, oh, how are we gonna do it? Well, we plug in this in, obviously, like so. Then we set them to be 1, 0. So 1, 0.25. Yeah, that's correct. Not saturation, only on the hue. Then 0.5, and then the last one 0.75. Those are our input colors. Then those input colors will go in right here into this, into the switches, along with the values. So is there an easier way for me to get the values out? Great question. Well, oh shit. I mean, shucks. No, the easiest way to do it would be without the loop, actually. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Yeah, just have it be without the loop. Instead, just delete it, and then... the position. Right, there we go. Like this. This we do without the lube. Knowing what Reblax is, I'm intimidated. You want me to show you the Reblax whiteboard? Hold on, I am... Oh yeah, it is the street one, isn't it? Let me open it up. This is the math board with a smiley face at the end. And this is from Reblax teaching me linear algebra mostly. Mostly linear algebra. It's I like how we can keep zooming in. It's a little bit a lot. Whenever we run out of space, we just move something over. This is basically what it looks like inside of Reblax's mind. Okay. Two, three, four, and then join. Like this. Then this one will be test 1, test 2, test 3. Then we plug in the logic and the color into every single one of them, like this. Color, color, logic, logic, color, color, logic, logic, color, color, logic, logic. Perfect. Now we turn off some of them. Oh, that is bright. I forgot to plug in into normalization, didn't I? Of course I did. Of course I did. There we go. That was normalized. Then they did on stream, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, all of it. Every single one we did on stream. Then the logic output, along with the color, that's important. Logic output and color are both needed there. Like this and like this. Perfection. They will go into bottom, like so. Wait, the bottom is this. There we go. Then logic, logic, top and bottom. Perfect. And then these go to the last one. And now as we change up the colors, everything should change accordingly. So 0, that's red. 0.25. Then 0.5. And then 0.75. And now, as we swap everything around, so for example, we can add green with red. We know this, yeah, we can multiply green by red and we get this. We can add together. No, wait, that was addition already. So we can add, wait, is it? The top one's multiplication. Oh yeah, I plugged it in backwards. Should be multiplication is on top, which means it should be this way. Yep, perfect. Anyway, I think this is proper. I think we've done it. I think we've actually done it. Well, almost. There's still the connections to be made, which are, I imagine, will be quite annoying. That's because these are just the gates, and then between the gates we'll need the connections between them as well, which I think I'll do with straight lines, honestly. I don't really see much of a point in overdoing it. So yeah, there we go. And then if we do this, yeah, that's the problem. Opposite sides of the spectrum will give us white at the end, which will be a bit funky. But there we go. Anyway, Givaka is making a cancel videos now. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Jesse finished printing, so I wanna test out the components I just made. And at the same time, I am getting really, really hungry. Yesterday I bought a fair bit of food, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cook it all up. And for now, I suppose that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.